morning. Lucky Hartman out here on the Beneva roadside again. Nice morning, couple of breeze. I was just reviewing a video that I forgot about that I didn't like and reviewed it to replace it. And what the subject is was about back in, I was reviewing my files and found an item from back on April 6th of 2014. On an early night when I was watching a movie from 1999. Well, what happened was I was just interrupted. One of the guys that interferes with video sound just loudly repeated words in the sound of a dump truck passing by. Some workmen right down the road heard it. So anyway, the interference continues. So anyway, during the movie, a man who alleged being from Denver got into the confusion and decided to allude to a song from 1975 named "Wildfire." Well, anyway, as I spoke, somebody in the traffic confusion north of here was heard to want to interrupt to say on Wildfire. So anyway. The song from 1975, January 1975, a guy named Michael Murphy, Wildfire. So anyway, the man, for some reason, wanting to sound concerned about it, varied the name of the song to "On Wildfire." So anyway, I guess he sounded kind of tense about it, and a reason for worry, of course, was saying he was on Wildfires, that he was alluding to somebody by the name of Wild. And of course, that I was immediately reminded too, he was alluding to, alleging pertaining to a police officer from Commerce City in Colorado, a suburb of Denver. Well, I encountered the man on one occasion back on a late night in early 1992. It was a very cold night, and I had been forced to have to be outside for the night. So I don't know how many nights, but it was very tiresome because it got cold early in the night and stayed cold all night and all through the next day. And so on that particular night, I drank some beers, and it was just too freezing cold to sleep anywhere. So I decided that I'd walk. I started walking west towards Sheridan, I guess, where there was a late night bus route. But I got very tired and collapsed along the way. I guess I was on the roadside for maybe an hour, and then when I woke up, I realized that it was too late to try to get warm on a bus. So I walked towards the other way, heading east towards the interstate. And when I got to a convenience store, I went in and used the restroom, and I accidentally fell asleep. But it was a private restroom inside the convenience store, and I had the door locked. So you know how people like to rumor about public restrooms, but the door was locked. So anyway, I don't know how much time elapsed. Maybe a half an hour. I woke sitting on the toilet seat, hearing somebody banging on the door. So I irritatedly said that I'd be out in a minute. And when I opened the door, I saw it was a police officer, a man named Wild. So anyway, he was courteous, and he ended up deciding to take me to the detox in Commerce City, where I ended up getting some rest. During the interview, I was a little bit irritated, though. I was working on some various paperwork, very basic stuff, nothing really important, a lot of jots. I had recently learned some basic Cyrillic language, and I was comparing transliteration and some numerical values of word groupings, and I had it all on pocket notepad and whatever else. So anyway, when I knew that while I was being forced out to the roadside by a terrible interference, that I was actually being a responsible citizen as well as I could, and working on matters that could actually be important. And so I kind of irritatedly gave the notes to him and said, maybe, I really work on stuff that might be important. And so I trusted him and gave him the notes. I didn't have any copies. So anyway, I spent a few nights with him. But anyway, that's all detail I don't need to include. It was a good place. One of these days I'll remember to send them a donation. So anyway, the concern was against the on wildfires. I dropped my notes onto the ground, so now I got to get up and do my notes. So anyway, the truck went past and I didn't. The nose flew up. So anyway, uh, the concern is these days, of course, in the Denver area, that there have been fires up in the mountains, and you hope and pray that they aren't set deliberate. But if they were, the old man that got into the sound of the movie that I was watching, or in the confusion of fan or whatever, alluding about Wiles might have been the man that said 70 knowing that maybe somebody official was involved in deliberately starting fires. So anyway, that'd really be bad news. So anyway, that was the concern, and when eventually, I guess, well, back in August 1st of last year, 2021, I arrived in Denver on a Amtrak, and all of visibility of the mountains was completely obscured because of smoke. Somebody might have deliberately timed the starting of a fire to when I was on the train on the way to Denver. By the time I got there, wasn't able to see any mountains at all. On one day, there was just briefly a slight clearing where some of the foothills was visible. Otherwise, through the rest of the time there, I didn't see any mountain scenery at all. So anyway, of course, the concern is that everyone be safe instead of there being fires, and hopefully there wasn't any loss of life. I think some videos from the scenes kind of made you worry. Officials that are hopefully caring for people, escorting people out of shelters with fires in the background. Hopefully they were always just saving the people and getting the people to safety. And that if anybody, whether they're official or not, if anybody was doing anything to deliberately start any fires, I hope that they're all just caught. Have a good day.